What is good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to talk about what's going on with tomorrow for the markets, why PCE is going to be very important, how this could affect Tesla, SPY, Nvidia, and the QQQ, and also what this means for the market going forward as we have more data to be discussing. But before I begin things up, all this information, before I give you guys any price predictions to talk about some very important levels, let me just mention a couple of things. Firstly, I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Moomoo and deposit $100 into the account, you are guaranteed up to 5 free stocks. If you deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed up to 15 free stocks, and the offer ends very soon. Anyways, now let's break down what's going on with the markets. Looking at SPY, this thing has a possible cup and handle like formation forming. Whether this is the cup and the handle is there, or if this whole thing is like a cup and then the handle is about to form for it to push up higher, it's a real possibility. But whether or not this pans out will depend on PCE and other factors like that. So, as a reminder, okay, an hour before the market opens at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have the PCE data report coming out. That's going to be very important. Now, PCE tends to resemble that of CPI, and we actually had the CPI numbers come out for December. So this PCE data does have some insights that could give us an idea of what it may look like. But once again, I can't always predict everything because this data could always be manipulated as well. But let me now talk about this. So 1 hour before market open, we have PCE data coming out, right, for the month of December. Now, just a couple of weeks ago, right, we had CPI that came out, and this is very interesting because when CPI came out for the month of December, this was very interesting. CPI was a little bit hot when it came to all items. All items CPI, the blue line right here, showed a slight increase in December 2023. But then for all items without food and energy, it basically stayed essentially the same and actually dropped just a little bit. That's basically core CPI, which dropped a bit, whereas CPI for all items went up. So what do we see for the data? For PCE, okay, for PCE year over year, this right over here, this has a risk of being a little bit hot, whereas core PCE is there's a good chance it's going to be decent. So core PCE, excuse me, sorry guys, I apologize. Core PCE is expected to be around 3 to 3.1%. That's what we're expecting. There's a very high probability it's going to be somewhere within that range. It's going to be quite decent because core CPI was decent. Core PCE may follow that, but but PCE year over year might be a little bit hot. We want this to be between 2.6 and 2.7%. It might be a little bit hotter, which could be a little bit negative for the markets. You want to be very, very careful with that. Now, after all the PCE data comes out, we just have at 10 a.m. new home sales, and that's pretty much it. Otherwise, we're just going to be looking at all the data. But PCE is going to be the next big piece of data. We'll see how this affects the markets. Now, when it comes to my projections, all I simply did was just compare this with CPI. Unfortunately, I can't make any promises about this being correct because the data is very manipulated and they tend to move numbers around. They tend to do a lot of trickery sometimes. So you just want to be very careful and we'll see what this looks like for tomorrow. Another factor affecting the markets is earnings. We had Intel's earnings today, and for tomorrow we have American Express. Now, when it comes to Intel, although their earnings were kind of mixed here and there, you can see right here they beat on EPS, revenue was a beat, but the issue is guidance was very weak for them. So that's what wasn't very, very good for them. The early 2024 outlook came out short, and this is what's causing Intel to basically tank. That's why Intel is dropping very hard right now. That's a little bit negative for many of the tech sectors. Despite that negative news, SPY has something that favors the bulls a bit more. When you look at the options chain for SPY, we have about a little bit over 300,000 calls expiring, and we have just under 760,000 puts expiring with a 2.34 puts to call ratio. So the majority positions are puts tomorrow. This suggests that there could be a squeeze where the market makers may try to hold us up above max pain. There's a real possibility of that. Now, as far as the market goes, basically, we're anticipating that for the March FOMC meeting, the Fed has a 50-50 chance at either cutting or keeping rates the same. So we'll be watching that very carefully. Will this get adjusted after PCE? We'll just have to wait and see. All right, guys. So what do I see? Excuse me, guys. I apologize. I apologize if I keep coughing, guys. My health has actually improved a lot, but I'm still fighting this cough. So I hope you guys can understand that. Still fighting for that. But anyways, going back, okay, on the chart, this is going to depend on PCE data. I can't really promise anything about it. We just have to wait and see. If we're bullish, let me just note that we have to break 488 and this high up here. If we break this high, we could easily push up to 490. If we're bearish, you want to see it lose 486 then 485 and start sinking back down towards these lower levels down here to 482.75 to 483. What do I think this is going to do? To me, it looks like a cup and handle is forming. And I think there's a good chance that if PCE causes us to gap down just a little bit, they might grab liquidity down here and try pushing the market up, especially thanks to the fact that there's so many shorts expiring on SPY. So I think that the cup and handle scenario I have is the most likely possibility. I think they might try to break the high and push us up higher tomorrow, as Fridays tend to be manipulated and there's a lot of shorts expiring. So I think a cup and handle is probable. They might gap us down, have SPY start weak, then push it back up. Why else do I say that? Because today was an example of how it came down and then got bought up at the very end of the day. They might do the same thing with the cup and handle and start pushing it up once again. So we might see this thing basically come down in the morning, retest 486 and bounce to 488, maybe even break that and start breaking this high. There's a real possibility of that's tomorrow. On the QQQ, this is tanking thanks to what happened with Intel and the earnings. But I just want to note that we have a potential falling wedge developing. So I think this might continue to develop this before getting a breakout. If we're bullish, you want to break 425 and eventually 427. If we're bearish, you want to see it break 422.5. I think with the falling, excuse me, guys, I apologize. With the falling wedge, it's just going to get tighter and tighter, then try to break out later on. Now for Tesla, I have a very different view now because Tesla held 180 very nicely. I think that we might see some buyers try to defend it. We might see Tesla attempt to bounce just a little bit. So I think Tesla's going to try to push up to 188. This also aligns with its, I think I was looking at the 30 minutes time frame when I saw this. Uh, Actually, it's not the 30 minute. I think it's the hourly. Let me just double check this. Actually, never mind, guys. Basically, 189 is where the 20 EMA happens to be on the hourly. I think that Tesla, Tesla's going to attempt to push up a little bit higher because it's very oversold. It dropped super, super hard, like crazy without much of a bounce. So I think that Tesla may attempt to push a little bit higher, back up to about 188, then just chop around, get rejected, come back down, and come back up and just trade sideways up there. So we'll look for 188, a rejection back down towards 182, back up, and just sideways price action tomorrow. We may even get a slight green day on Tesla. It dropped really hard without any sort of bounce. So I think they might try to buy it up just a bit. And that doesn't mean it can't drop more in the future. It could still drop to those 170 areas later on. But for tomorrow specifically, I think that Tesla might just attempt to bounce. For Nvidia, I think that Nvidia, this thing has potential, in my opinion, to rebound just slightly. Now, this could be forming a nice double bottom like formation here. It might rebound just a little bit. We have this imbalance to fill at 610. Might reach 610 to 6. This like next imbalance up here to 614. 610 to 614. Trade sideways up here, then cool off a little bit. So I think a little bounce and drop is very probable. But watch these levels just to be safe as our supply and demand zones. And then last but not least, we have Apple stock. Apple, in my opinion, is looking like it has a nice double bottom, looking a little bit weak, but the thing is, we're trying to hold support right over here at 193.5. We haven't lost support, so watch 193.5 as support. If that fails us, there's 192.5. Watch 194.4 as resistance and 195. My guts tells me it's going to retest 195, then just chop around a bit like that. With that being said, guys, thank you for listening. Have a great day. I want to make this very quick. I just want to save my voice for tomorrow. I apologize if I coughed a little bit. I'm still fighting this cold. I feel fine, by the way. I have like energy. I'm not drowsy. I don't have any headaches or anything like that anymore. It's just this cough is very annoying. I still have to get past that. I've been trying all the remedies from medicines to, taking in honey, drinking tea, and etc. I'm going to keep trying different things. And I'll do the best I can to recover as fast as possible. That's the only thing I'm fighting right now, just this cough. I feel fine other than that. But with that being said, have a great day, guys. I'll see you guys very soon on the next one. Thank you, and peace out.